Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 141. Welcome again to the latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services. In this bulletin, the benefits of peer-to-peer lending, Brexit woes and fears, and using financial ratios. Let's kickstart this bulletin by taking a look at the benefits of peer-to-peer lending. Now, peer-to-peer lending covers a multitude of alternative finance sources such as crowdfunding and also crowd lending. Now, a couple of months ago, as I record this, the sector took a bit of a hit when the previous head of the industry regulator, the FSA, Lord Adair Turner, took a sideswipe at the industry and said that the decisions that peer-to-peer lenders were making over the next 5 to 10 years would make bankers look like lending geniuses. Well, obviously the industry didn't like that, and it's taken a while, but just out is an independent study that's been commissioned by the UK Peer-to-Peer Finance Association. Now, this is an umbrella organisation comprising of 8 of the key peer-to-peer lenders in the market, made up of the likes such as Funding Circle, Rate Setter, Zopa, and Market Invoice. And they're trying to get out the message that we are a safe industry. And the independent report has come up with a number of findings. First of all, it has acknowledged that the industry has provided competition and availability of finance to industry. It has helped complement the banks, and so it's been a real boost to the economy. Secondly, it's also said that it has provided investment choice to individuals who want to put money in different places and get better returns on their money. But more importantly, the report has acknowledged that the credit assessment process that these platforms go through prior to releasing loan requests onto the marketplace is robust and in line with that of traditional lenders. So really the Peer-to-Peer Finance Association is trying to get the message out that we are safe and we have an important part to play in the economy. Now, going back to the comments made by Lord Turner, interestingly, literally a few days before we record this and just after this report has come out, he has now backtracked and said he didn't really mean to say that the sector is almost kind of broken. And he says that he now acknowledges that the sector does have an important part to play. And in fact, he acknowledges that they are an important spare tyre in the economy. In other words, if the wheels come off again, then the Peer-to-Peer Finance Association and all its members are really there to prop up and make sure that a credit crunch doesn't happen again. So a good solid boost and a thumbs up there for the alternative finance sector. Brexit fears and woes. I'm sure you'll agree that no bulletin would be complete without looking at the continual impact that the Brexit vote has had on the UK economy. Today I want to have a look at 2 surveys, the first of them coming out from Deloitte. Every quarter they go out and interview chief financial officers of the FTSE 350. So these are the CFOs of the 350 largest companies in the UK. Now you may wonder, well, as a small business, what do I care what the largest firms think? Well, of course, don't forget, there is a trickle-down effect. What happens at the top slowly filters its way down to small businesses. So what does this Q3 survey of CFOs' thoughts about the economy reveal? Well, first of all, 88% of them say that their level of uncertainty is ranked as above normal, high or very high. But the mixed message is, in Q2, 92% of them rated that their uncertainty levels were above normal, high and very high. So a slight improvement, but still much higher than it was in 2012. Also looking at forecast of revenues, 24% of them are saying that they are seeing their revenues fall over the next 12 months. But again, that was also a decline on the previous quarter. Now, perhaps of more interest to small business owners is 47% of them said they are going to be focusing as their number one priority on cost cutting over the next 12 months. And that's primarily where the trickle down effect will happen as cost cutting works its way down the supply chain. So you can see some good messages there that perhaps the negativity is not as bad as people think, but it is still high. The second survey that has recently come out is the British Chamber of Commerce as part of their regular quarter economic survey. But again, some positivity coming out. 36% of manufacturers said that they feel that turnover is going to increase over the next 12 months. So there's a lot of conflicting data coming out. What do you do as a small business owner? Well, to be honest, cut out some of the noise. Concentrate on serving your customers. Hunt out new markets. There may be opportunities that are emerging because other people are ignoring what's in front of them. Be nimble, be quick, and be ready to pick up what the bigger firms are missing. How exactly can I use the financial statements that my accountant sends me every year? Well, that's a question we're sometimes asked by the clients that we work with. Yeah, every year your accountant sends you a wonderful pack full of numbers and stats, and you wonder, what use is this to me? Well, one thing to remember is that bankers love poring over your figures, and there's no better way to try and preempt the questions that the bank is going to ask by carrying out the same analysis that they would. And so I want to give you a heads up of a recently new added video to the list of previous ones that I did, giving you an idea of how to calculate various financial ratios. Now, these financial ratios taken from your balance sheet and your profit and loss account are useful red flags. They help identify areas of concern that you can hone in on immediately in order to correct errors within your business and also boost your profits. And the video I've just released is looking at a useful ratio called overheads to sales. Overheads as a percentage of sales. It's also known as an efficiency ratio. It just looks at how efficient you are, how much you are spending on overheads for each pound of sales. And it really is a good tool to help identify where perhaps you may be overspending, and it'll help you answer that also important question, why? Why are my profits going down, or why are my overheads going up? If you want to watch that video, I might put a link in the description box below, and I've also included links to other videos that I've done on financial ratios, looking at how to calculate debtor days, creditor days, your stock turnover ratio, and also your gross profit margin. If that sounds a bit of gobbledygook, well, it probably is, but those videos will explain everything that you need to know to get the best out of your balance sheet. Well, that's it for this bulletin, and as ever, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and a share. Don't forget, we've got a podcast version as well if you're currently watching via video. The podcast is on iTunes, Stitcher and SoundCloud. Just go along to those channels and search for Business Finance Bulletin. And if you are listening on the podcast version, pop along to our YouTube channel. Go along to YouTube and search for Rob Warlow. So that's it for this bulletin. Thanks very much for being with me. Look forward to being with you again next time. Have a great, successful and profitable week. Bye-bye now.